The council chamber was huge. 12 different alien species sat around a circle of floating platforms. Each platform was designed for a different type of being. Some needed water, others needed special gas to breathe. The room hummed with translation, devices working hard to make sense of all the different languages. Hyun-woo Park stood in the center. He was tall for a human, but still looked small next to some of the aliens. His dark suit was simple compared to the bright colors and strange shapes of alien clothing around him. He kept his hands behind his back and his face calm. "Humans," said the Valorian commander. His voice was deep and rough like rocks grinding together. "You want to join our council. But what can you offer us?" The Valorian looked like a giant lizard that learned to walk on two legs. His scales were dark green, and his eyes glowed yellow. Sharp teeth showed when he spoke. Behind him sat other Valorians, all looking ready for a fight. "We offer friendship," Hyun-woo said. His voice was quiet but clear. "We offer to share what we know. We offer to help keep peace in the galaxy." Some aliens made sounds that might have been laughter. The Nexari representative moved forward. She looked almost like a human, but her skin was blue and she had 4 arms. Her eyes were completely black. "Peace," the Nexari said. "Your species has only been in space for 300 years. We have been traveling between stars for thousands of years. What could you teach us about peace?" Hyun-woo smiled. "Sometimes a fresh view helps. Sometimes old problems need new answers." High above the chamber, Ji-Hai Kim watched through a small window in her ship. She was the commander of the human fleet waiting outside. Her ships were powered down, floating quiet and dark in space. It was a sign that humans came in peace. "Captain Kim," said her communications officer, "the alien ships are moving closer to us." "Let them come," Ji-Hai said. "We are guests here. We will not cause trouble." But inside, she was worried. Her ships looked small and weak next to the alien warships. The aliens had ships as big as cities. They had weapons that could destroy planets. The human fleet looked like toys next to them. Back in the chamber, more aliens were speaking. The Tidari representative made bubbling sounds. Water flowed around her chair, keeping her wet. Through the water, her fish-like face looked angry. "Humans fight wars on their own planet," she said. "They kill their own kind. Why should we trust them with peace?" "Because we learned from our mistakes," Hyun-woo said. "We know what war costs. We know what peace is worth." The Keth representative stood up. He was thin and tall, with gray skin and no hair. His fingers were long and had too many joints. "Your ships carry weapons," he said. "You say you want peace, but you bring guns." "We bring protection," Hyun-woo said. "Space is dangerous. Pirates exist. Accidents happen. A smart traveler carries tools to fix problems." "Or to make problems," said the Valorian commander. On his ship, Dong-min Lee looked at reports from his scouts. They had been watching the council species for months. What they found was not good news. "Sir," said his intelligence officer, "the Valorians have been testing our borders. They send ships near our colonies and then leave when we notice them." "What about the others?" Dong-min asked. "The Nexari have been listening to our communications. They try to break our codes. The Tidari have been asking questions about our water supplies on different planets." Dong-min frowned. "They are not just curious about us. They are studying us like we are prey." In her lab on Earth, Dr. So Young Choi was studying information about the council species. She had been working for days without much sleep. Her coffee had gone cold hours ago, but she did not notice. "This is not right," she said to herself. She looked at star maps showing where different species used to live. Many planets that once had life were now empty. Her assistant came over. "Doctor, what did you find?" "Look at this," So Young pointed to the map. 50 years ago, the Malari were a council member. They lived on 12 planets. Now those planets belong to the Valorians and Nexari. What happened to the Malari? The records say they chose to join with other species, but look at this. So Young showed more data. The same thing happened to 6 other species. They joined the council. Then they disappeared. Her assistant looked scared. You think the council does not want allies? I think they want slaves, So Young said. In the council chamber, the debate was getting louder. The aliens spoke faster, and their translator devices made angry beeping sounds. Humans are too young, said one alien. Too weak, said another. Too dangerous, said a third. The Valorian commander stood up. His claws scraped against his platform. We have decided, he said. Humans may join our council. But first, you must prove you want peace. Hyunwoo felt his heart beat faster, but his face stayed calm. What must we prove? Simple, the commander said. Give us your weapons. Put your military under our protection. Let us watch your planets to make sure you stay peaceful. The chamber went quiet. All the aliens looked at Hyunwoo. He could feel their eyes studying him, waiting to see if he would be afraid. That is a big request, Hyunwoo said slowly. We will need time to think about it. Of course you will, the Nexari said. Her black eyes seemed to smile. Take all the time you need, but do not take too long. The Valorian commander showed his teeth in what might have been a smile. 72 hours, he said. 3 of your Earth days. Then we will need an answer. And if we say no? Hyunwoo asked. The commander looked around at the other aliens. They all looked back at him. Their meaning was clear without words. Then we will be very sad, the commander said. But we will understand that humans are too dangerous for galactic peace. We will have to protect the galaxy from you. Hyunwoo nodded. I understand. We will give you our answer in 72 hours. As he walked out of the chamber, Hyunwoo's mind was racing. The aliens thought they were being clever. They thought humans were weak and scared. They thought offering protection was the same as making a threat. They were right about the threat, but they were very wrong about everything else. Outside, Ji-Hai watched her captain return to their ship. The alien vessels moved closer, surrounding the small human fleet. To anyone watching, it looked like the aliens were showing their strength. To scare the weak humans, Ji-Hai smiled. Let them think that. Let them believe humans were afraid. In 72 hours, they would learn how wrong they were. But first, Hyunwoo had to get home to Earth. He had a message to deliver and preparations to make. The council thought they had cornered a weak prey, animal. They had no idea they had just challenged the most dangerous predator in the galaxy. Hyunwoo's ship moved through space toward Earth. Captain Taeho Yoon sat in the pilot's seat, checking their route. Next to him, Minji Han worked on her reports about alien cultures. She had spent months learning about council species. Captain, Minji said, I think we have a problem. The aliens are watching everything we do. I know, Taeho said. I can see their scout ships following us. They think they are being sneaky. Hyunwoo walked onto the bridge. He looked tired, but his eyes were sharp. Let them watch, he said. Let them see exactly what we want them to see. He sat down at the communication station. Open a channel to Earth Command. The screen showed President Kyung-Soo Nam sitting in his office. Behind him, other government leaders waited for news. Mr. President, Hyunwoo said, the council has made their offer. Tell me, the president said. Hyunwoo explained what the aliens wanted. As he spoke, the president's face got more serious. When Hyunwoo finished, there was silence. So they want us to surrender without a fight, President Nam said. That is what they want, Hyunwoo agreed. And they think we are too weak to refuse? They do. President Nam was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. Well, we cannot let them down, can we? Set up a meeting with the Earth Council. We need to discuss this carefully. On a Nexari spy ship, Veltar listened to the human communication. His forearms worked at different control panels, recording everything. The translation software worked hard to understand human language. "Commander," Veltar called to his superior, "the humans are scared. Their leader wants to meet with other leaders. They are talking about discussing surrender." The Nexari commander came over. Her black eyes showed satisfaction. "Good. What else?" "They keep using words like carefully and think about this. They sound worried." "Perfect. Send a message to the council. Tell them the humans are already breaking." On Earth, the meeting was taking place in a secure room deep underground. President Nam sat at a long table with military leaders and government officials. Admiral Unjung Shin was there, along with generals and ministers. "The situation is clear," President Nam said. "The aliens think we are weak. They want us to surrender our military and become their servants. Just like they did to 6 other species," said General Bo Ra Kang. She had been reading Dr. So Young's reports. Admiral Shin leaned forward. "Sir, our fleets are ready. All ships are in defensive positions around our systems." "Good," the president said. "Keep them there. Let the aliens see that we are only defending, not attacking." "What about our colonies?" asked Minister Hee Jung Park. "Begin evacuation procedures," the president said. "Move all non-essential people to safer areas." Around the table, the leaders nodded. They understood what needed to be done. High above Earth, alien watchers recorded everything. They saw human military ships moving to defensive positions. They saw evacuation ships leaving outer colonies. They saw what looked like a species preparing to surrender. On the Mars research station, Dr. Jae-won Park worked late into the night. His team was running final tests on equipment that had taken years to build. The alien spies watching thought the humans were building desperate defenses. They were wrong. "Doctor," said his assistant, "the power levels are perfect. Everything is working exactly as planned." "Good," Dr. Jae-won said. "How many more hours until we are ready?" 68 hours, sir. We will be finished just before the deadline, Dr. Jae-won smiled. Perfect timing. In the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, Colonel Young-ho Choi watched his people practice evacuation drills. To outside watchers, it looked like humans preparing to abandon their outer positions. "Sir," said his lieutenant, "the alien scouts are still watching us." "Let them watch," Young-ho said. "Make sure they see everything we want them to see." His people moved quickly and quietly. They practiced moving to different positions. They practiced coordinating with other groups. They practiced working together without talking. The aliens watching thought they were seeing scared humans learning to run away. They had no idea what they were really seeing. On the council station, the alien leaders met to discuss the human situation. The Valorian commander looked very pleased with himself. "The humans are already preparing to surrender," he said. "They are moving their people away from the outer areas. They are putting their ships in defensive positions only." "What about their weapons?" asked the Tidari representative. "Our spies say they are working on some kind of defense system, but it looks desperate. Something thrown together quickly." The Nexari commander added her report. "Their communications show fear. They keep talking about being careful and thinking things through. These are the words of a defeated species." "Excellent," said the Keth representative. "Soon we will have another species under our control. Humans have many useful planets." "And they breed quickly," added the Tidari. "Good workers for dangerous jobs." The Valorian commander stood up. "Send more ships to human space. Let them see our full strength. When they see our fleet, they will surrender immediately." Back on Earth, President Nam was meeting with his military advisors. The room was quiet except for the sound of keyboards and quiet conversations. "Sir," said Admiral Shin, "our long-range sensors show a large alien fleet moving toward our space, at least 3,000 ships." 3,000, President Nam repeated. "That is a lot." It is the biggest fleet in galaxy history, said General Kang. They are trying to scare us into surrendering without a fight. And they think it will work because we look weak and scared, added Intelligence Director Seokjin Park. President Nam was quiet for a moment. Around the table, his advisors waited. "Gentlemen, ladies," he finally said, "they have made a mistake. They think being peaceful means being weak. They think being careful means being scared." He stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the lights of the city sparkled in the darkness. "They do not understand us at all," he continued. "We are not peaceful because we are weak. We are peaceful because we are strong enough to choose peace." He turned back to face his advisors. "They think we fear war. They are about to learn the truth. We do not fear war. We understand war. And that understanding taught us something much more important." "What is that, sir?" asked Admiral Shin. President Nam smiled. It was not a nice smile. "It taught us when war is necessary and how to win it quickly when the time comes." He sat back down. "Continue with all preparations. Let the aliens see what they expect to see. Let them think we are preparing to surrender." "And when they arrive?" asked General Kang. "When they arrive," President Nam said, "they will learn why humanity has never actually feared war. They will learn why we simply choose to avoid it when possible." The meeting ended. The leaders left to continue their preparations. In 60 hours, the alien fleet would arrive at Earth. They expected to find a scared species ready to surrender. Instead, they would find something that would change their understanding of humanity forever. But first, they had to arrive. And the humans had 60 hours to finish getting ready. 60 hours to prepare for a conversation the aliens would never forget. The 72 hours were over. In the council chamber, aliens waited for the human answer. Ambassador Hyun-woo walked in with 2 other humans. Sung Min-oh carried a data pad with official documents. Hee-jin Lim had recording equipment to make sure everything was saved for history. The chamber was more crowded than before. Representatives from all 12 council species were there. Some had brought extra guards. All of them expected the same thing: human surrender. Hyun-woo walked to the center of the room. He looked around at all the alien faces watching him. Some looked hungry, others looked bored. All of them looked certain they had won. "Honored council members," Hyun-woo began, "humanity has considered your generous offer." The Valorian commander leaned forward. "And we appreciate your concern for galactic peace," Hyun-woo said. His voice was calm and polite. "We appreciate your offer to protect us from the dangers of space." Yes, the Nexari representative said impatiently. "What is your answer?" Hyun-woo smiled. It was a small, quiet smile. "However, we must respectfully decline." The chamber went completely silent. For a moment, no one moved. No one spoke. Even the translation devices seemed surprised. Then the noise exploded. "What?" roared the Valorian commander. "Impossible!" hissed the Nexari. "They cannot refuse!" bubbled the Tadari through her water. The Keth representative stood up, his long fingers shaking with anger. "You are making a terrible mistake, humans!" Hyun-woo waited for the noise to calm down. When it did, he spoke again. "We understand you are disappointed, but humanity chooses to remain independent." The Valorian commander's claws scraped against his platform. "You do not understand what you are refusing. We offer protection. Without us, you will face the dangers of the galaxy alone." "We accept that risk," Hyun-woo said. "Do you?" The commander stood up to his full height. He was 3 times taller than Hyun-woo. "Do you accept the risk of facing our combined fleets, 3,000 warships from 12 different species?" "If necessary," Hyun-woo said. The aliens looked at each other. They had expected fear. They had expected surrender. This calm refusal confused them. You are bluffing, the Nexari said. Your species is young and weak. You cannot fight us. We prefer not to fight anyone, Hyunwoo agreed, but we will defend ourselves if attacked. The Valorian commander activated a holographic display. It showed the massive alien fleet heading toward human space, thousands of ships, each one larger than most human vessels. Look at this, he said. Look at our strength. Look at what you face if you refuse our protection. Hyunwoo looked at the display. His face showed no fear. Impressive, he said. You have built a magnificent fleet. And you still refuse? We still refuse. The commander's yellow eyes blazed with anger. Then you have chosen war, human. We offered you peace. We offered you safety. You have chosen destruction instead. Actually, Hyunwoo said, you offered us slavery. We choose freedom. The council session ended with threats and angry words. Hyunwoo and his team returned to their ship. As soon as they were aboard, Hyejin started sending messages to Earth. Message sent, she told Hyunwoo. Earth Command knows the council has chosen war. Good, Hyunwoo said. Now we go home and let our people do what they do best. In space, the alien fleet moved toward the solar system. War Marshal Karthex commanded from his flagship a massive vessel with enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Around him, ships from 11 other species moved in formation. How long until we reach human space? He asked. 16 hours, sir, his navigator replied. Good. Send a message to all ships. When we arrive, we will give the humans one last chance to surrender. If they refuse, we destroy their military and take control of their planets. What if they fight back, sir? Karthex laughed. It sounded like rocks falling. With what? Their tiny ships? Their primitive weapons? This will be over in minutes. In the asteroid belt around Mars, Captain In-ho Jung waited in darkness. His ship was powered down, floating silent among the rocks. Around him, dozens of other human ships waited the same way. Captain, whispered his communications officer, long-range sensors show the alien fleet is 6 hours away. Roger that, In-ho said. Send the signal to Admiral Shin. Tell her the guests are almost here. On Earth, Admiral Eunjung Shin received the message in the underground command center. Around her, hundreds of officers worked at control stations. Large screens showed the positions of ships throughout the solar system. Admiral, said her aide, all units report ready. Excellent. Admiral Shin looked at the main display. It showed the alien fleet approaching like a storm cloud. Open a channel to all human forces. The channel opened. Throughout the solar system, in hidden bases and camouflaged ships, human military personnel listened. This is Admiral Shin, she said. In 6 hours, we will have visitors. They think they are coming to conquer us. They think we are weak and afraid. She paused, looking around the command center. They are wrong about everything. Stay hidden. Wait for my signal. And remember, we are not here to start a war. We are here to end one. On Mars, General Bo-Ra Kang gave her final briefing to the ground commanders. Colonel Woojin Seo and Major Da-Yun Yu listened carefully. The aliens think, we evacuated our people because we were scared, she said. Actually, we moved them because we knew this day would come. Every person is safe. Every family is protected. What about their fleet, General? Asked Colonel Seo. What about it? General Kong smiled. They built it to frighten species who had never seen real war. They are about to meet a species that understands war better than any other in the galaxy. The alien fleet reached the edge of the solar system. War Marshal Karthex looked at his sensors and frowned. Where are the human ships? He asked. We detect some small vessels near the planets, sir, his sensor officer reported, but nothing like a fleet. They are hiding, Karthex decided, probably behind their moon or in their asteroid belt. Cowards. He opened a communication channel to all human colonies. People of Earth, this is War Marshal Karthex. We offer you one final chance for peace. Surrender now, and we will treat you well. refuse, and face the consequences. The response came from Admiral Shin herself. Her image appeared on the main screen of every alien ship. "War Marshal Carthex," she said. "This is Admiral Yoonjung Shin of the Earth Defense Forces. We have received your message." "Then you will surrender?" "No," Admiral Shin said calmly. "We will defend our homes." Carthex roared with laughter. "With what army, Admiral? Where are your ships? Where is your fleet?" "Admiral," Shin smiled. It was the same smile President Nam had worn days before. "War Marshal, you are looking right at them." Carthex looked confused. "I see nothing but empty space and asteroids." "Exactly," Admiral Shin said. "You see what we wanted you to see." She raised her hand. "All units, light them up." Suddenly, space around the alien fleet came alive with light. The asteroids weren't asteroids. The empty space wasn't empty. Hundreds of human ships appeared, their weapons powering up. But these weren't the small, weak ships the aliens expected. These were vessels using technology the Council had never seen. They bent space around them. They moved in ways that seemed impossible. Captain Seo Jun Baek engaged his gravity weapons. The Nexari ships in front of him simply crushed themselves as space-time twisted around them. Lieutenant Commander A. Ra-Yoon fired her quantum disruptors. Valorian warships disappeared, their atoms scattered across light-years of space. War Marshal Carthex watched his mighty fleet being destroyed by weapons he didn't understand. "This is impossible," he screamed. "Humans don't have this technology." "Actually," came Admiral Shin's voice, "we do. We've had it for quite some time. We just never needed to use it before." The battle, if it could be called that, lasted exactly 17 minutes. When it was over, most of the alien fleet was gone. The survivors floated helpless in space, their weapons destroyed, their engines dead. Carthex sat in his damaged command center, staring at the destruction around him. His mighty fleet, the largest in galactic history, had been defeated by a species he thought was weak and primitive. "How?" he whispered. Admiral Shin's voice answered him. "Because you made a mistake. War Marshal, you thought we feared war. The truth is, we don't fear war because we understand it completely. And that understanding taught us the most important lesson of all." "What lesson?" "When to fight," Admiral Shin said. "And more importantly, when not to fight." The War Marshal looked at his ruined fleet and finally understood. The humans hadn't been afraid of war. They had been trying to avoid it. Now he knew why. The battle was over, but the war was not finished. Throughout the solar system, human ships moved to secure the disabled alien vessels. Admiral Shin coordinated the cleanup from her command center, while Captain Jun-Ho Kwak led the outer system. "Patrols!" "Admiral," reported Captain Kwak. "We have counted the survivors. About 800 alien ships are still intact but disabled. The rest are gone." "Casualties on our side?" Admiral Shin asked. "0 deaths, ma'am. 3 minor injuries from a reactor overload on the destroyer Sol." Admiral Shin nodded. Even in their moment of total victory, the humans had shown restraint. They could have destroyed every alien ship in minutes. Instead, they had disabled most of them, giving the crews a chance to live. On the Lunar Research Station, Dr. Hee-Sun Park studied the battle data. Her screen showed energy readings, weapon effectiveness, and tactical analysis. Every shot fired by human forces had been planned and calculated. "Remarkable," she said to her assistant. "Look at these numbers. Our weapons performed exactly as predicted. No waste, no excess destruction." "The aliens never had a chance, did they?" her assistant asked. "Not really," Dr. Park admitted. "We have been preparing for this kind of fight for over 200 years. Every war game, every simulation, every training exercise was designed for this moment." In the asteroid field, Commander Tae-Young Shin led his fighters in rescue operations. His pilots moved between the wreckage, pulling alien survivors from damaged ships. The same humans who had just destroyed the greatest fleet in galactic history were now saving the lives of their enemies. "Commander," called one of his pilots, "I have a group of Valorian survivors here. Their life support is failing." "Bring them aboard," Tae-young ordered. "Medical team to Bay 3. This pattern repeated throughout the solar system. Human ships that had just demonstrated the most advanced weapons in the galaxy were now using those same technologies to save alien lives. On the main communication channel, Ambassador Hyun-woo addressed the surviving alien commanders. With him stood his advisors, Mi Jung-ko and Seung-ho An. "Commanders of the Council Fleet," Hyun-woo said, "this is Ambassador Park of Earth. We are offering medical aid and safe passage to any crew that needs assistance." War Marshal Carthex, sitting in his damaged command center, could not believe what he was hearing. You are helping us? After we came to conquer you?" "Yes," Hyun-woo said simply. "War is over. Now we help the wounded." "But why?" Carthex asked. "We are your enemies." "You were our attackers," Hyun-woo corrected. "That does not make you our enemies forever." The Nexari commander, her ship barely functioning, spoke up. "I do not understand. You have the power to destroy us all. Why do you show mercy?" "Because," Hyun-woo said, "mercy is what separates civilization from barbarism." Colonel Ye-jin Moon was monitoring alien communications from her intelligence post. What she heard confirmed everything humanity had suspected about their opponents. "Admiral," she reported to Shin, "the alien chatter is interesting. They are not talking about revenge or counterattacks. They are talking about fear." "Fear of what?" "Fear of us, ma'am. They finally understand what they were really fighting." Captain Sun-woo Park demonstrated this truth as he approached a cluster of damaged alien ships. His vessel, which looked like a simple transport, revealed its true nature as it began repairs on the alien vessels using technology that seemed like magic. "How are they doing that?" whispered a Tidari captain, watching human repair beams fix her ship's hull. "I don't know," her engineer replied. "Their technology is beyond anything in our databases." "How long have they had these capabilities?" I think they have always had them. They just never showed us." This realization was spreading through the surviving alien crews. The humans had not developed new weapons to fight this battle. They had been hiding their true capabilities all along. On Earth, President Nam addressed the planet and the colonies. His message was broadcast to every human settlement in the galaxy. "My fellow humans," he said, "today we faced a choice. We could have remained hidden, pretending to be weak until someone discovered our true nature by accident. Or we could reveal ourselves when revelation served the cause of peace." He paused, looking directly into the camera. "The Council species chose aggression over diplomacy. They chose conquest over cooperation. But even now, we choose mercy over revenge." In the council station, far from the battle, the remaining council members watched the reports with growing horror. Their greatest fleet had been destroyed, their strongest warriors had been defeated, but worse than that, they had been shown mercy. "They could have killed every one of our people," the Keth representative said quietly. "But they chose to save them instead." "What kind of species does that?" asked the Tidari representative. "A species we do not understand at all," admitted the remaining Valorian advisor. Back in the solar system, the rescue and repair operations continued. Human medical teams worked alongside alien doctors to treat the wounded. Human engineers shared their knowledge to help repair damaged ships. Dr. Eugene Park led one of these medical teams. She worked on a Nexari officer who had been badly injured when his ship was disabled. "Why are you helping me?" the officer asked. "Your people just destroyed my fleet." "Because you are hurt," Dr. Park said simply. "That is reason enough." The officer was quiet for a moment. We came here to make you our slaves. I know, Dr. Park said, continuing her work. But you failed. Now you are just a person who needs medical care. General Sang-Ho Kim compiled the after-action reports for Earth Command. The numbers were staggering, but not in the way anyone expected. Sir, he told President Nam, we have processed all the data. The battle lasted 17 minutes. We destroyed or disabled 3,000 enemy vessels. Our casualties, 0 deaths, 3 minor injuries. And the alien casualties? Surprisingly low, sir. Most crews survived because we targeted systems instead of life support. Total enemy deaths, approximately 2,000 out of nearly 4 million crew members. President Nam was quiet for a moment. 2,000 deaths, he repeated. In a battle involving 7 million people, we only killed 2,000. Yes, sir. Our weapons allowed for very precise targeting. Good, President Nam said. Every death in war is a tragedy. Even when war is necessary, we should minimize the tragedy as much as possible. Commander Seok-Jin-Oh was tasked with explaining human military philosophy to the alien prisoners. Many of them asked the same questions over and over. How did you become so powerful without anyone knowing? Asked a Valorian officer. We were never hiding our power, Seok-Jin explained. We were hiding our willingness to use it. There is a difference. But your ships looked weak. Your technology seemed primitive. Because we wanted it to look that way, we hoped we would never need to show our true capabilities. Another alien spoke up. Your people could conquer the entire galaxy with these weapons. Yes, Seok-Jin agreed. But why would we want to? For resources, for territory, for power. Seok-Jin shook his head. We have all the resources we need. We have all the territory we can use. And power that is taken by force is not real power at all. The aliens looked confused. These ideas were foreign to them. Then what do you want? Asked the Valorian. To be left alone to live our lives in peace, Seok-Jin said. To explore the galaxy and learn new things. To meet other species as friends, not as conquerors or subjects. And if others threaten you? Seok-Jin's expression became serious. Then we defend ourselves. As we just demonstrated. The alien officers were beginning to understand. Humanity was not like any species they had ever encountered. Humans had the power to conquer, but chose not to. They had the ability to destroy, but preferred to create. They had won the greatest military victory in galactic history, and their first act was to help their defeated enemies. What happens now? Asked the Nexari officer. Now, Seok-Jin said, we try to build a better galaxy, one where species work together instead of conquering each other. The alien officers looked at each other. This was not what they had expected from their conquerors. You are offering us partnership, asked the Valorian. After we tried to enslave you? We are offering you a choice, Seok-Jin said. You can learn from this defeat and become better, or you can remain as you were and face the consequences. What consequences? Seok-Jin's smile was not unkind, but it was very serious. We will be watching. If you try to conquer other species the way you tried to conquer us, we will stop you. You would fight us again? If necessary. But we would prefer to teach you a better way. The aliens were quiet for a long time. Finally, the Nexari officer spoke. We have much to learn, she admitted. Yes, Seok-Jin agreed. We all do. That is what makes the galaxy interesting. As the hours passed, the full scope of human capabilities became clear to the surviving aliens. They had not just been defeated by superior technology. They had been outthought, outplanned, and outmaneuvered by a species that understood warfare better than any other in the galaxy. But more importantly, they had been shown mercy by that same species. The humans could have ended the council threat forever. Instead, they chose to offer a chance for change. War Marshal Carthax, now a prisoner aboard a human medical ship, finally understood what his people had faced. "We never had a chance," he said to the human doctor treating his injuries. "No," the doctor agreed. "You did not. How long have your people been this powerful?" "Long enough," the doctor said. "We hoped we would never need to show it. But you were ready when you needed to." "We have been ready for 300 years, the doctor said. "We hoped for 300 years that we would never need to be." Carthax was quiet for a moment. "We made a terrible mistake." "Yes," the doctor said. "But mistakes can be corrected. That is why you are still alive to make better choices." The war marshal looked at his bandaged wounds, then at the human doctor who had treated them. "What kind of species saves the lives of those who came to destroy them?" "A species that understands the difference between an enemy and a problem," the doctor said. "Enemies must be defeated. Problems can be solved." "And you see us as a problem to be solved?" "I see you as people who made bad choices. People can learn to make better choices." As night fell on Earth, the cleanup continued. Human ships escorted alien survivors to safe areas where they could repair their vessels and treat their wounded. The greatest military victory in human history was followed by the greatest rescue operation in galactic history. Ambassador Hyun-woo sent a final message to the Council Station. "To the surviving members of the Galactic Council," he said, "humanity extends an offer of peace. We bear no grudge for your attack. We understand you acted from ignorance, not malice." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "We invite you to join us in building a new kind of galactic community, one based on cooperation instead of domination. One where all species are equals, not rulers and subjects. In return, we ask only that you abandon your practice of conquering weaker species. Help us create a galaxy where strength protects the weak instead of preying on them. The choice is yours, but choose wisely. Today you learned that humanity will defend itself and others when necessary. We prefer peace, but we are very, very good at war." The message ended. Throughout the galaxy, the surviving council species considered their options. They had learned the truth about humanity. Humans did not fear war because they understood it completely. They avoided war because they were wise enough to know its true cost. But when war became necessary, they fought with a skill and power that no other species could match. The galaxy would never be the same. 6 months had passed since the battle at Earth. The galaxy was a very different place now. The old council was gone, replaced by something new. The Galactic Cooperation Alliance. Instead of 12 species ruling over others, dozens of species worked together as equals. Captain Hyok Jin Ryu commanded the rescue and recovery operations throughout former council space. His ships carried supplies to worlds that had been abandoned, medical aid to colonies that had been neglected, and hope to species that had been forgotten. "Captain," reported his communications officer, "we have reached the former Malari homeworld. The surface scans show life signs." "Survivors?" Hyok-jin asked. "Yes, sir. It looks like some Malari hid when the council took over their planet. They have been living in underground cities for 50 years. Hyok-jin smiled. "Signal Dr. Yu-jin, Park's medical team. Tell them we have found another lost species." Dr. Yu-jin Park had become famous throughout the galaxy. Not for her skill in battle, but for her work healing the wounds left by decades of council rule. She had treated former council soldiers, rescued slave species, and helped rebuild destroyed worlds. "Captain Ryu," she said over the communicator, "this is wonderful news. The Malari were said to be excellent engineers. The galaxy needs their skills." "They might not trust us at first," Hyok-jin warned. "They have been hiding from aliens for 50 years. "Then we will be patient," Dr. Park said. "We will show them that not all aliens are conquerors. On Earth, President Nam was meeting with the new galactic representatives. The meeting room was bigger now, with places for dozens of species instead of just 12. The atmosphere was completely different from the old council chambers. "The reconstruction is going well," reported Ambassador Ji-woon Seo. "We have freed 6 enslaved species and restored independence to 12 conquered worlds." "What about the former council species?" President Nam asked. "Mixed results," admitted General Sang-ho Kim. "Some are adapting well to the new system. Others are struggling with the concept of equality." "That is understandable," President Nam said. "They spent thousands of years believing that might makes right. It will take time to learn new ways." In the former Valorian Military Academy, Commander Seok-jin-oh was teaching a class of mixed-species officers. Valorians sat next to humans. Nexari worked with former slave species, and everyone was learning together. "War," he told his students, "is not about conquest. War is about protection. The goal of any military should be to end conflicts quickly and with minimal casualties." A young Valorian officer raised his hand. "But Commander O, how do we show strength without conquest?" "By being so obviously strong that no one wants to test you," Seok-jin replied. "If your enemies know they cannot win, they are more likely to choose peace instead of war. But what if they attack anyway? Then you end the fight quickly and mercifully, the way humans did at Earth. You defeat your enemies completely, but you do not destroy them unless absolutely necessary." A Nexari student asked, "What about resources? What about territory? How do we get what we need without taking it from others?" "You trade for it," said a human officer in the back of the class. "You cooperate. You share knowledge and work together. You will be amazed how much more you can accomplish when everyone benefits." The former council species were slowly learning these lessons. Some adapted quickly, others needed more time. Captain Eun-soo Jang led one of the joint exploration fleets. Her crew included beings from 8 different species, all working together to explore unknown regions of space. It was a remarkable change from the old days when each species explored alone, looking for worlds to conquer. "Captain," called her Tidari navigator, "we have found something unusual. A system with artificial structures, but no life signs." "Abandoned." "Civilization?" Jang asked. "Possibly. The structures are very old, but still functional. Set course for the system. Let's see what we can learn." This was the new way. Instead of conquering or claiming new discoveries, the mixed crews studied them together and shared what they learned with all species. Dr. Hyo-jung Choi had established the new Galactic Research Institute. Scientists from dozens of species worked together on projects that would have been impossible for any single world to complete alone. "The progress is remarkable," she reported to the Alliance Council. "We are solving problems that have challenged individual species for centuries." "Such as," asked the Malari representative, still getting used to having a voice in galactic affairs. "Disease, for example. The Tidari understand water-based biology better than anyone. The Keth are experts in atmospheric chemistry. Humans contribute knowledge of genetic medicine. Together, we have cured 12 major diseases in 6 months. What about technology? Even better. The Valorians' metallurgy, combined with human engineering and Nexari computer systems, has produced ships twice as fast and 3 times as efficient as anything we had before. But not everything was easy. On the former council station, now the Alliance headquarters, there were still problems to solve. Former War Marshal Carthex had become something unexpected, a peace negotiator. His experience with both war and defeat made him uniquely qualified to help other aggressive species understand the new reality. "Commander," he said to a Stellar Dominion representative, "your people are making the same mistake my people made. You see humanity's offers of cooperation as weakness." "Are they not weak?" the Dominion commander asked. "They could conquer the entire galaxy, but they choose to share power instead." "That is not weakness," Carthex said. "That is wisdom. They are strong enough to take what they want, but wise enough to know that cooperation serves them better than conquest. But surely they have limits. Surely they can be defeated if enough species unite against them. Carthex was quiet for a moment, remembering the destruction of his fleet. Commander, I brought 3,000 ships against Earth. The best ships, the best weapons, the best warriors from 12 different species. The humans defeated us in 17 minutes without losing a single person. The Dominion commander looked skeptical. If you doubt me, Carthex continued, ask any of the 800 survivors. Ask them what it was like to face weapons that bend space and time. Ask them what it was like to watch their mighty warships crushed by invisible forces. He leaned forward. But more importantly, ask them what it was like to be saved by the same people who had just defeated them. Ask them why the humans chose mercy over revenge. And what will they say? They will tell you that humans understand something. The rest of us are just learning. True strength is not the power to destroy. True strength is the wisdom to know when destruction is necessary and when it is not. On a former slave world, Captain Sunwoo Park was overseeing the construction of a new spaceport. The planet's native species, the Rilani, had been forced to mine rare metals for the Council for over a century. Now they were free to develop their own civilization. Captain Park, said the Rilani leader, we do not know how to thank your people. You have given us back our freedom. You do not need to thank us, Sunwoo replied. Freedom is not a gift, it is a right. We simply helped you reclaim what was always yours. But surely you want something in return. All species want something. We want you to be free and happy, Sunwoo said. We want you to develop your own culture and technology. We want you to join the galaxy as equals, not subjects. The Rilani leader was puzzled. But what do humans gain from this? We gain friends instead of enemies. We gain trading partners instead of rebellious slaves. We gain a galaxy where everyone can grow and learn together. And if we choose not to be your friends, Sunwoo smiled, then we will respect that choice. Friendship cannot be forced. It must be earned. As the first year of the new alliance came to an end, Ambassador Yun-Woo prepared his final report. He sat in his office on the Alliance station, looking out at ships from dozens of species working together in space. President Nam, he said into his recorder, the transformation has been remarkable. Species that were enemies for thousands of years are now working together. Former slaves are becoming leaders. Former conquerors are becoming teachers. He paused, choosing his words carefully. But perhaps the most important change is not in what species do, but in how they think. They are learning that cooperation achieves more than conquest. They are learning that diversity makes everyone stronger. They are learning that true power comes from lifting others up, not pushing them down. There are still challenges, he continued. Some species resist change. Others need more time to heal from centuries of oppression. But for the first time in galactic history, there is hope for something better. He ended his recording and sent it to Earth. Outside his window, a mixed crew of humans, former council species, and newly freed slave races worked together to repair a damaged exploration ship. It was a sight that would have been impossible just 1 year ago. Now it was becoming normal. The galaxy had learned the truth about humanity. Humans did not fear war because they understood it completely. They avoided war because they were wise enough to choose better alternatives when possible. But when war became necessary, they fought with such overwhelming skill and power that resistance was futile. More importantly, they fought with restraint and mercy, offering their enemies a chance to become something better. The Council had thought humans feared war. They learned that humans feared something else entirely. They feared a galaxy where war was the only solution to problems, so they had chosen to build a better galaxy, A galaxy where cooperation replaced conquest, where diversity was celebrated instead of suppressed, where strength protected the weak instead of preying on them. It was not perfect. It would never be perfect. But it was better than what came before, and in a galaxy full of species learning to work together, that was enough to build a future worth having. The humans had kept their promise. They had created peace, not through weakness, but through strength. Not through conquest, but through cooperation. Not through fear, but through hope. The galaxy was finally learning what humans had always known. The greatest victory was not winning a war, but making war unnecessary.